I'm so excited to show y'all some homemade Christmas ornaments I think are just so darling. And the reason I'm showing them to you is I thought maybe next year you might want to make some of them. These were given to me. And so I'm just going to start and I'm going to show them to you. And I also did a video about my pork chop and my sweet potato that I cooked in a different way, and that's going to be at the end, okay? And so let's get started. All right, I'm going to just show you what they've made, and maybe you would like to make one. This is a button Christmas tree. All they did was they got buttons and they strung them together, and they put a black one at the bottom and a little brown, and then went with green from largest to smallest. And they even had that little thing on top. There's one ornament. Isn't that cute? Children would love to do that one. All right, this is a used up light bulb. One of those candlelight bulbs. You know, they spray painted it, I guess, white, and then made that cute little snowman out of it. Or a little Santa. Look at that, how cute. Isn't that darling? Now, y'all could do that. All right, let's look at another one. Now, this one is a little more complicated, and I can't do something like this, but some of you that crochet, y'all could do it. They took a glass ball, or it may be plastic in there, and they crocheted an angel. I'm going to turn it around so you can see it. Isn't that beautiful? Now, I don't know how to crochet, so I can't do this one. I can string the buttons together, and I can paint that little face on that little thing. I can do that. All right, here's something I did at our little party that we had the other day. I painted this little snowman, and she said to put a ribbon on it and hang it on the tree, so I did. It's made out of paper. So y'all could just let the children make some little paper things like this and hang on the tree. You know, a long time ago, they hung paper ornaments on the tree. All right, here's another angel I think is really pretty. This is this is a quilt piece, a piece of a quilt. And you see how they gathered it together right here? And then they've got a little wooden ball for the head, but you could use a button. You could use lots of different things, but isn't that cute? Look at that. That was sent to me. Here's something that's nice for those of you who have a tree in your yard that you have cut a limb off of, and you can cut circles. And they painted a snowman on this one. See, it even left the bark on it. Isn't that pretty how they left the bark on there like that? Y'all could do this. The children could do a lot of these kind. Here's a real cute one. This is another angel. And y'all remember those quilts that had those round circles where they pulled them together? See, it's just flat on the back. But they pulled it together right here and then put a little face. And look where the face is. The little neck is kind of down into the round circle instead of sitting on top. So that's important to see that. And then they got the little wings. Got some yarn for the hair. Isn't that cute? Okay. Here's something for all you crocheters out of there to make some snowflakes for the trees. Look at this one, how pretty. And you could have every one different. Now, they put some kind of starch on here. Y'all, excuse me, I've still got a little cough. Some starch on here to make it stiff, and it just hangs real pretty on my tree. Here's the old Grinch. This is made out of a big light bulb that didn't work anymore. And so they put some little feathers around his neck. So there's the Grinch. There's his mouth. his nose, and it's out of an old light bulb, a fat light bulb. See, that's a fat one. Okay. This is something I made, and I showed y'all this the other day. This is a spool, an antique spool. And I painted some snowmen and some Santas on the side of that spool. See, there's nothing on the other side. He's a skinny Santa. But you could paint whatever you wanted to. You could paint a word even going up and down like that. This is cute. It's a reindeer made out of corks. See, there's a long cork. There's a cork. And then they've got these things that are sticking in. It looks like matchsticks to me because they're kind of thick. I don't know what that is. But there he is. And they bought him some little eyes. And this antlers is a bow. They tied a bow out of twine and put that up there for his antlers. They probably made it stiff so it would work. There's his nose on the end of it. I'm trying to show it to you so y'all can get you some ideas. You could start in January. This is really pretty. This is a star made out of felt. It's real soft. Or it could be wool. I believe that's wool. It's not felt. But isn't that beautiful? Look at that. And they decorated both sides. And did the little stitches all the way around the star. I think that's pretty. Here's another angel. And this is made out of a thicker yarn, and it's kind of open on the inside like that. I'm trying to show you so you'll know. And there's again, it's got the little wooden head. Here's another angel. Now this one is unusual because of what its body is made out of. Do y'all recognize that? What the body is made out of? That's the end of a man's tie. This tie that goes on they just cut off the end of it. And that is the body. Let me hold that up where you can see. See it? That's a tie. And then they made lace wings. And again, it's got the little wooden ball for the head. And they made a halo. Isn't that cute? Okay, here's a spoon that I made last year. I called it Christmas spoon, and I just took an old spoon and I put jewels on the back. I hot waxed them on there and on the front. So you got that little ornament, okay? This one's pretty. Hannah made this one for me years ago. She took an old quilt and made a bell out of it. I like it. She sewed everything by hand. This is a gnome that someone made. So they crocheted his top part, and the bottom part is just some yarn. And let's see what they used for the nose. A wooden ball again. I'm telling you. That's cute. All right, and here's another angel that Hannah made for me out of fabric. It was a quilt top. It's not a quilt. It's just a quilt top. She folded it and made little angels out of it. And this is the last one, and I painted this in 2019. Painted this the year after George passed away. It's painted on some giant dominoes. I just had a bunch of these that I don't even remember where I got them. I thought, what can I do with that? So what we have in Andalusia, Alabama, is we have what's called Candyland. And so we have our tall building. That's a tall building in Andalusia. And we take and put a red bow around the building. And it is huge. The bow is huge. And it shows up real good on there. So I did that with some little kids running and playing down there. So I wanted to just show you this so that maybe you could get some ideas. Now, I've got a lot more on the tree that's homemade, but I couldn't show you everything. This will get you started. And you could start in January and start making little ornaments to share with people or to put on your own tree, or maybe just have the grandchildren to come over and let them do some ornaments, get ready for next year. They would love it. Because, you know, sometimes when Christmas gets near, I don't want to say get stressed out, but it seems like all of a sudden we ain't got any time left. And so that's what we do, is we do ahead of time. But what a wonderful season this is, and how blessed we are to have a Savior that was born to save us and to give us hope of salvation and hope of a future with Him, and it's wonderful. And so anyway, I want to say Merry Christmas to all of you. And I know you can make these things because I've seen how talented you are. But I'm going to show you now my pork chop and my sweet potato and how I did that. So y'all have a wonderful day. Love you. Bye-bye. Hey, sweet friends. Look what I'm cooking in my little pan tonight. I've got me a thick pork chop. And in my microwave over there, I took a sweet potato. I wet me a dish towel in my sink, squeezed it out, wrapped that sweet potato in it. I cut 3 slits, I think, in it, and I cooked it for 6 minutes in the microwave, and I just checked it. It is so tender and ready. So when this gets ready, what a quick supper I've had. I mean, just 1 pork chop and 1 sweet potato. Isn't that great? Let me go get it out and we'll look at it. Let's get our meat out first. That's a big, nice, thick one, isn't it? All right, now let's go get our potato. If y'all never cooked a potato like this, you've got to try it. It is so simple. All I did, let me get me a hot pan because the whole thing is fairly hot. I'm going to stick it under it like that. Okay, I took a dish towel, clean dish towel. I wet it good, and I wrapped the sweet potato in that wet dish towel. And look at this. And I'm going to put it right here. And I cut about 3 slits in it, like that. So I'm going to cut it in, all I want on mine this time, I just want butter. Sometimes I put brown sugar and I put cinnamon, but I just want butter today. Look how good and tender that is. I cooked it 6 minutes. Of course, that's all dependent on how your big your potato is. But if you'll wrap it in some good wet towels, I'm telling you, it's so good. I'm excited to eat this for my supper tonight. How healthy it is and delicious. And I like a lot of butter on mine. Do y'all? Some restaurants that I go into, they don't serve real butter. So I don't eat it. Okay, there we go. Spread that out a little bit. What you say? What do you say, y'all? What you say? What you say? And when you say that what that really means is that whatever you've got is really good. Like if you get a present, you can say, what you say? That means you really like it. I have gotten so many Christmas cards and some cute gifts too. And I want to thank all of you for those. I'm telling you, I started putting my Christmas cards in a little bowl on the coffee table. And then my bowl got full and I had to change it to a bigger bowl. And so it's real big. I'm going to eat this. And then what I'm going to do, let me just taste it. There's our meat. Good and tender. And here is our sweet potato with butter just dripping all over it. Do y'all love sweet potatoes? Oh, so good. I'm going to eat this, and then I'm going to come back on here, and I want to show y'all my Christmas cards, and I also want to show you some ornaments that folks made, and so that way you, next year, could maybe make you some like it, because they're just really cute. And I'm going to show them individually on my tree, so you could really look at how they did it, okay? I'll be back in 20 minutes.